Yeah, man.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Codename Good Game, Episode 5. Kids Next Door, number 5. She was cool. Anyway, welcome to Good Game today. We have Resident Evil stuff. We have Silent Evil stuff. We have a Final Fantasy 16 trailer that I'm sure there's kind of some bias towards here. From who, you might ask? We're going to go multi-screen and show. I have Onix and Rudy from the Gaming Resume on here. And they are two lovely fathers. They're two dads. They're two gamers. And they are first-time guests on the channel. Guys, thank you very much for being here. If you want, for funsies, Onix, you could kick us off and go, hi, I'm Onix, and this is a weird fun fact about me.
Oh, I mean, you already said hi, I'm Onix, so you took half of the fun away. Weird fun fact. What the hell is a weird fun fact?
What's the geekiest convention you've ever been to, or geekiest event? Like, I just got done being at the Halo World Championships. That was cool.
Yeah.
What was like one of the coolest things you've been to?
Well, yeah, it's not a convention per se, but for my honeymoon, I went to Japan and I went to Akihabara and I went to a Sega arcade. So
dude, that's cool.
That's pretty geeky, right? That's pretty cool, right?
That's super
Man.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the Gundam. They had Gundam Unicorn over there, like life size. Pretty cool, gotta say. You know, so there you go. That's my little fun fact.
I love it. Rudy, how about you? Welcome to the channel, man. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm Rudy.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. What's up, everyone? I'm Rudy. There's literally nothing that I can say that can compete with that because it's literally Japan. Like, who doesn't want to go to Japan?
The motherland.
Man, and I'm sitting here and I'm just like, oh yeah, like I went to MegaCon. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah,
like,
MegaCon,
you know, I got to meet some of the cast from like some of the shows that were there. But yeah, that's me. I don't really have anything that beats Japan.
Sorry.
I mean, MegaCon's cool. I've never been to
MegaCon is cool. So. Yeah, it is. It is very. I've been to like 2 MegaCons. I cosplayed once. I dressed up as what's his name from Baymax, the older brother. I forget now, but it was like a simple little cosplay.
Oh, Tadashi? I think
Tadashi. Yes. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah,
it was name dropped maybe once in Kingdom Hearts 3, so I can't remember.
God. Yeah.
Hannah agrees. I see Hannah in the chat saying, I'd love to go to Japan someday. That's awesome. Yeah, no matter what, like, Japan's going to outbeat anything that me or Rudy say.
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying, man. He's like, oh, I went to Japan. Like, there's literally nothing that I can say.
Listen,
like, dude.
I'm sorry. That's like one of the highlights of my life, right? I have like 5. That's one of them.
Like it's a tough act to follow.
Yeah, dude. But that is a good highlight. Am I jealous? Yes. Would I love for it to happen one day? Yes. But you guys are probably going to go again in the near future anyway.
I would like to. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
And if you're here live, please let us know if audio's good, if anything needs to be turned down or up. I do see Hannah, Crystal Wolf, who also said Onix set the bar too high with Japan. Steffi's here. Creature is. Guys, thank you very much for being here in episode 5 of Good Game. But yeah, it's just the first time having these two on. So I don't know, like it's just cool to chit chat with you guys. And I've seen you like the past year, maybe even 2. And there was a fun little shout out message that I had too. Where is it? I have a shout out page. Yeah. From, I think it's Faisal. Yeah. Faisal 007. He says, all my favorite gamers and YouTubers at one place. Total awesomeness.
Yes, Faisal or Faisal. Yeah, he comments on our stuff and checks out our live stream as well. So that's a crossover.
I love that.
Fan. Pretty
the
cool.
Coolest
Pretty
thing,
cool.
I think, is when like somebody's like, "Oh, dude, I know that guy." And then like,
yeah,
just mutual crowds. It's the coolest part.
Right. Yeah, I dig
part.
it. I dig it.
Yeah. And you know, there's kind of a first, and so if you haven't been to the show before, and especially like for you two as well, because you're new guests. Last week I freaking nailed this show. This is a new thing that I'm trying to do that just is fun to me, where we get to talk about games like for what happened this week, even maybe some speculation or comments about things that didn't happen this week. We have a really fun, friendly, good game at the end to hopefully push away potential debates we might have had, which so far there hasn't been a heated one, but we'll see. But the first like intro part to the show, I was like just chit chat a bit as we've already been doing. But as two gamer dads, do you guys find yourselves with enough time to play games these days?
Rudy laughs. I like that reaction.
We tried to get together earlier this week, and you guys were just like, "Yeah, it's late night. That's the life of a dad."
Yeah, I mean, yes, I have. So, okay, I am a dad to 3.
Wow.
As I said in our previous conversation before we went live, I'm turning 35 this year. So is Rudy. We're literally 3 days apart on our birthdays. He's the 22nd. I'm the 25th of November. So it's kind of crazy. 87, right?
Yeah.
And I have 3 kids. The oldest is 17 years old. So you can do some math there. And the youngest is 15 months old. So you can imagine in between that, you know, the priorities and responsibilities of fathering a high schooler and then an infant as well. So it's the little time that I have, I put into whatever is pulling at me at the most. And right now I'm playing a lot of Overwatch 2.
Nice.
But it's tough. You gotta work hard. I gotta talk to my wife and kind of be like, hey, what's the week looking like? When can I game? Is this day good, or is that day good to do this or that? So it's nuts, man. It's just it's a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, because I had a similar thing where I'm not a dad yet, so that's a thing. That I really like appreciate what you guys do for your kids and stuff, because I'm sure that's a really busy time. And I was stoked to play Plague Tale Requiem this week, and I've been eating it in like bite-sized nuggets, and I'm like, I hate this. Like, I don't want, not the game. I hate touching something I really care about for the first time in bite-sized pieces. Rudy, how about you? Like, do you find the time as gamer dad?
I drink a lot of coffee. Like I sacrifice my sleep and I drink a lot of coffee. So like, you know, I had somebody comment underneath one of my videos and was all like, hey, like how do you, you know, find the time as like a dad? And I think his channel is like specifically being a dad in gaming. But for me, it's literally finding the time. Like Onix said, sometimes you literally have to like schedule it. You like, I hate to say it because like back in the day I would get home from work or school, whatever, and I'd just be like, you know what, like I feel like just playing some video games. I'm gonna relax, blah blah blah. Now, like I saw Reckner in the chat, he went ahead and said, you know, I saw Rudy playing Bayonetta 1, so I know that he's, you know, he's finding the time, but in reality it's because like I have the Steam Deck, like I'm like, okay, where can I fit the time in to actually play these games? It's tough. I do not have 3 children. I only have 1. So it's a little bit easier than Onyx's situation. Okay. But finding the time is definitely challenging.
Well, in this week full of we have news to get to, but before that, just really quick, we actually had a pretty decently busy week that I thought I would just kind of shout out some things. As I said, you know, I wanted to hit Plague Tale Requiem this week. We got Persona 5 Royal on Xbox and Switch, I believe. There was Switch, Gotham Knights. There was Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope. But yeah, and I just thought a neat little roundup here if anybody was curious about those games that hasn't played them. Little review roundup for the games this week. We have Gotham Knights sitting at a Metascore, and then we're going to go from lowest to highest score. Gotham Knights is at 69, which I was not expecting whatsoever. I was expecting this to be a firm like low 70s.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
it's
to see like
right?
Well, no, it's not Rocksteady. It's oh God, what is it? Oh, it's Warner Brother something. It's not Rocksteady.
Montreal.
But it's not Rocksteady. That's the point, right?
It's not Rocksteady.
I haven't kept up with the development, unfortunately.
No, it's not Rocksteady. Yeah, but okay. But yeah, this game has not been getting good scores, so I'm very shocked to see. I just thought it would be one of those okay games, but I literally saw a 4 out of 10 at one point. And I was like, from IGN or GameSpot, I'm like, all those people that think gaming journalists are just paid to review games, look at it. Yeah. Like, give us a good score and here's money. dude, look at this. Yeah.
Nah, dude. No, absolutely not. Yeah.
No, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was specifically that made people see that as like as bad as it is. I mean, a lot of people have been saying about the 30 FPS, it being locked to
Right.
specifically that,
Dude,
and then
man.
like, it sucks. It sucks like big time, and there's a lot of design issues that popped up. I mean, I've seen plenty of reviews online. It's just not a well done game in the grand scheme of things, based off of what other people have said. I haven't played it because I saw that, and I'm just like, little bit of time that I have, I'm not going to touch.
Yeah, same here. I've just been hearing it's like kind of a pile of little choices where it's like there's nothing glaring, but it's just a pile of little things that kind of makes it become really noticeable. But anyways, so Gotham Knights lowest score of the mainstream releases this week at 69. New Tales from the Borderlands, the game that just had a very silent ass release in my opinion, 71, so just barely above that. That's pretty much the score I thought Gotham Knights was going to get. And then we bump it up a lot with Plague Tale Requiem, the game I've been hitting, at 86 on Metacritic. So that's pretty gosh darn good. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope sitting at the same exact score of 86. And Persona 5 Royal on Xbox is 95. That's an older game, though. We've all heard how fantastic of an RPG that is. But
Yeah.
is any of those 5 in you guys?
So I downloaded Plague Tale Requiem. I actually loved Innocence, man. Like, I thought it was phenomenal. Thought it was a really great game. But when it came to Requiem, I downloaded it, had it pre-installed. Dad life, I haven't even touched it.
Yeah,
I've been playing Bayo 1, man, the entire time.
And I'm telling
Persona
you,
5 Royal.
Don't touch Requiem until like just a solid like chunk, because that's what I've been doing. I've been touching in bite-sized pieces, and I'm like, I want a solid 2-3 hour stretch that I could just dive into this game.
Yeah.
Because it's so story driven, and it's hard to like do it like that. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, if you haven't played Persona 5 Royal, like, play it. It's everywhere now. Just play it. Buy it, play it.
It is a fantastic game.
It's on Game Pass,
damn
so
good game.
if you have Game Pass, you don't have to buy it.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Did any of those stick out to you, Onyx?
No, I haven't played a Plague Tale Innocence. It is one of those that I did want to try. My tastes, they can vary wildly. I prefer games that are, for the lack of a better term, more arcadey and focused on gameplay rather than solid story.
Okay.
I like stories in games. I think stories in games can be told very uniquely when they're done right. But I'm very much so like gameplay is king. Gameplay comes first. If the gameplay isn't like super engaging, then the story has to be very good. Now, I haven't played a Plague Tale, but I know the gameplay isn't like, it doesn't look like anything out of this world. And at the time that it came out, I was busy playing other stuff. So I haven't played the original, haven't really looked into the sequel at all. Mario and Rabbids, not a big fan of XCOM like combat. So it really, all the games that came out this week, like, none of them really interested me that much. I'm really looking forward to Bayo 3 though. Like that's kind of like the big game that's coming out this month.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a segment later of because there's some stuff coming out this week. But yeah, let us know if anybody here is excited about that in the chat, or if you're watching the replay. And I think we're just gonna jump into our topics this week because typically what we do is like a little 10-15 minute intro and then talk for news 30-ish minutes, and then we'll have some fun at the end, messaging with the chat. If you are here, feel free to @Samurai Kibiji or @ us for questions that you got. I see the Game and Do a podcast here as well. I need to talk with you guys because I might have you on either next week or the week next month or something. But yeah, they say super surprised about Gotham Knights. Yeah, same here, man. I was not expecting that game to get a great score, maybe even good, but just like okay. But man, there's some people that are. Yeah. Anyways, look at that. They already said they're down. I just booked somebody live on stream. All right. Anyways, let's load in this week's topics. Okay. So what's first on the docket? That's right. We have a lot of presentations and trailers and whatnot that we got this week. And there might be a reason for that we'll get to later. But, gentlemen, we had a full-blown Silent Hill presentation this week. Like, Rudy, with the hands. Yeah.
It's so good, dude.
If you are a Silent Hill fan, you be eating this week.
You're eating good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think I have like kind of a little run through here of what we basically got if we want a little summary where basically, let's see the rundown. I have a page on IGN here where if you miss the presentation, it's like a 40-minute long presentation, FYI. So I admit I just got it in just before this stream. I only like knew what they announced. I knew what they announced beforehand, and I glimpsed at the trailers. But I'm like, I want to watch the full presentation. It's 40 minutes. But yeah, in it you get the announcement of, they start off with the Silent Hill 2 remake, long rumored by the Bloomer team, and now we finally know, as well as a lot of these being rumored for a long time, which we'll talk about. But yeah, full-blown remake of Silent Hill 2 by the Bloomer team. We also got Silent Hill Townfall, which is a game that's being published by Annapurna, being developed by No Code Studios. And that was probably the vaguest one we got in terms of what exactly will be. They ended with Silent Hill F. I know I'm going out of order. I'm just going by what's on IGN's site here.
No, you're fine.
They ended with the new game, Silent Hill F, that is just as cinematic and maybe the closest thing to a new mainline game, maybe. I don't know, because we got a lot of side titles in this, but it ends with a grotesque animation of a face falling off a little girl, and it's stationed in Japan, I guess in the 1960s Japan, as some people have deduced. Silent Hill Ascension, which is something I'm very curious to talk about a little bit maybe when we get to here. I'm just kind of breezing through these. But yeah, Silent Hill Ascension, gonna be a live play style game where, think of like As Dusk Falls. I just played that with the community. That's what I'm interpreting, at least. We'll debate about that. But just an experience that you, people watching, get to kind of influence the narrative together, and there's no reset button. So be careful about your choices. And, of course, a new Silent Hill film from the original director way back in 2006, I think.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So, and new merchandise, if you care about that. They got some new merchandise, too. But, dude, this was a blowout of a Silent Hill stream with so much. Rudy is still smiling, man. And I'm like,
dude, it's just so good. It's so good. Like, if you're a fan, like... And the thing is that I'm not a hardcore fan by any means. I know how big this is to the industry as a whole. People have been asking for something Silent Hill for so long, and to finally get this. I mean, there were rumors, like you said, Bloober Team's going to be working on Silent Hill 2, and you know whether. Oh yeah, and if you're either against or for Bloober Team doing any horror at all, it's just something that, is there. It looks pretty so far. I would love to see more. Just everything that was shown, it just hit me right there, man. Like, I'm just like, oh, this is good. Horror games are good. They're back. They're here. They're here.
Yeah. Onyx, do you have any reaction to this?
I like Silent Hill a lot, right? I played 2, I played 3, I played The Room, which is 4, way the heck back when they first released. And I'm always big on new games. I like new games. I like my remakes too, but remakes, depending on the remake, depending on how much I care about the game and things, I have varying levels of excitement, right? Mm-hmm. Silent Hill 2 is such a well-regarded game, and I'm glad that Bloober is essentially doing the technical aspects of it. They're not really touching like the writing, or at least what it seems like it, right? Because I know that Bloober team has been a little controversial with the medium, right? So I'm glad, but remakes don't inherently get me as excited as like a brand new game. Silent Hill F is very interesting to me because it's set in 60s Japan, like you just read, and it's a new game, right? And to top it off, the writer, right, he wrote like Higurashi, a very unique and well-written visual novel. It's just really interesting. Yeah. So that's a new game. The only thing that sucks is that it's a CGI trailer. So there's no gameplay. I have no idea what it's like. And those bum me the hell out. Like
now, and I will give a pass though, because I have the same gripe about CGI trailers. But if it's the announcement trailer, then I kind of I pass it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like I said, it's one of those things where it's like, that looks very interesting and I definitely want to see more of it. But overall, just because like the main gameplay was just shown for the remake, everything else was just like teasers, and that's okay. But, and I know we're going to get to it later, but compared to the Resident Evil showcase, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Cliffhanger. Boom.
Right. Well, and yeah, that's the thing about this whole presentation is that it was a lot of just finally we can just get these rumors, like no more rumors, no more leaks, no more whatever, because I feel like that's all Silent Hill has been doing for like ages. I feel like the past 2 years. I don't think more than 3, but like ever since essentially sort of COVID, it's just been so many like code names, reportedly, blah, blah, blah. And now they're just like, you know what? Let's just tell them. Let's just tell them everything we got cooking. Gosh. I see somebody in the chat, Adonis. Meanwhile, Onix's biggest freakout ever is Panzer Dragoon re-rest.
Hey, K6, there's a reason for that, and you know it, okay? That remake was from a game that hasn't had a new game for like 18 years or some nonsense like that. Yeah. Let it happen, okay?
There's also like Jacob's like years of false rumors is behind us. Exactly. Like if there's anything I take from this, like initially as a reaction, it's just it's cool to finally see Konami making a game again.
I agree.
That is not a gotcha. That is not a mobile thing. Like these are actual titles from one of their very well-established franchises that they are finally diving into again.
Right.
And that's
at least publishing.
Yeah, they're at least publishing. Yeah, they have a lot of partners handling it. That's right. Yeah, but and I am somebody. I saw somebody in the chat that said like, I think it was Jacob. Yeah, like I haven't played a single Silent Hill game ever. Shocker, I know. I've never played. I've watched my friends touch them, but am I alone in that? Is there anybody else here? Or?
I mean, like I said, I've played them. Okay, Rudy, you have played one of
Rudy
them. Right? I think you played
two,
right?
I played 1 and 2, and then I played what was it? Oh my god, I think it was The Room. That's 4, right?
That was 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I remember playing that, but I was like quickly was like, nope, I'm good. Like I was at a very very
very scary game, man. Very scary game.
Dude, ridiculously scary. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put this aside, and then I returned it back. So when I was a kid growing up, I rented a lot of games from Albertsons and Blockbuster, and like that's pretty much everything. So I let the time pretty much run out, and I like gave it back to them. I was like, I'm good. I'll just like play Mario or something.
Let me go from Silent Hill to Mario. Good idea. Let me ask you guys this though, and this is a really curious question though, because I heard this on a podcast and I'm like, that's actually a good point. I love that Konami finally like are confirming all this. You know, like we're finally doing okay. No more release, no more rumors. This is just everything we got. They're all super in early stages, but we just want you to know. Cool. Is it too much? Because if you're a fan, you're eating good. Rudy's nodding his head, no. But like, if you're a fan, you're eating great. But at the same time, we haven't had Silent Hill anything in a long time, right? I don't know that. I'm just on the surface level.
It has been a while. Silent Hills, the PT game was the last thing that ever was supposed to happen. Exactly,
right.
And it got canceled.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So it's very interesting to see Konami like. Yeah, they canceled PT, and now they're almost going all in on, like, finally a franchise of theirs. And, like, here's a movie, 2 or 3 spinoffs, and a remake. Rudy, you were nodding first. Like, what's your answer to that?
So I'm looking at it from, like, a business perspective. Konami's a very, well-established company. They know how to make money, obviously. They know how to handle multiple projects. They have plenty of things that are going on. They aren't developing these games. They're publishing them for the most part. They're partnering up with people that have clout, that know what they're doing within the industry. And again, whether you are for or against any of these developers, that's a whole different other thing. But they're able to make these games. They provide funding, and they can go ahead and allocate funding however needed. I think that is it a lot? Yeah. I mean, initially I was just like, whoa, like this is way too much. Way too much, especially with everything that's going on. But in hindsight, like the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, if this was too much for them, truly, they wouldn't be doing it.
Mhm.
They really, truly wouldn't. And I think that Metal Gear Survive, that kind of taught them a little bit about not half-assing
And
things.
I want to kind of like spin this a little bit because I don't think it's too much for them, especially as you said, because they're partnering with everybody. But it almost like, do you think because there's, and then again, maybe the drought has made the Silent Evil franchise, Silent Evil.
That's a nice crossover.
It's a crossover we don't even know.
The Silent Hill franchise. It's been a long time, so maybe longtime fans are starving, and this is finally a lot to consume. So I'm almost more so like on the fan level. Do you think it's kind of like a lot to take in all at once, potentially, if like all this released over like a year or two?
See, like I have a friend who's like a big Silent Hill fan. Like he was writing me specifically because he's like, dude, I can't believe they're making Silent Hill and stuff. And I kind of had a discussion with him about that. Like me as like, I like Silent Hill. I wouldn't call myself a Silent Hill fan. And I thought to myself, like it wasn't exactly disappointing, but it wasn't exactly exciting either. So I told him, like, I think my biggest gripe with this is that a lot of stuff, it's just kind of like it's coming out. We don't even have a year of release. We don't know when these games are dropping.
Right.
You know? At least most of them. I think the remake is the one that has a more of a concrete like idea of a date, but everything else is just kind of like, hey, this is in production now. It's genuinely like watching the Marvel stuff. And it's like, oh, by the way, we have these movies and this one's coming out in like 2 years. We'll see you then. Kind of, and like that's cool, but it just personally doesn't excite me. And I think that it's for people that are fans. I know he's very happy. He's like, yes, I can't believe I'm going to be able to play all these things and watch all these things and enjoy it.
Right.
So, and I think what helps him is that there's no dates. Like if they sound like, oh, from today to this time again next year, all these are coming out, maybe that would be a lot, but we don't even know that. So
yeah. Okay.
I agree. He brings valid points. Like realistically, no, dude, you're right. Like these are just literally announcements with no actual date, so it makes sense. Yeah. I'm still excited.
For sure. Like I'm gonna play that remake, whether it's a good game or not. I mean, I'm hoping it's a good game. If it's a bad game, somehow I'm not gonna play it. But
dude, I'm really curious about the Ascension one, and I only say that because I just played As Dusk Falls with my community, and that's a nominee for a Keebs Game of the Year potentially. It's not going to win it, but it's just I'm shocked how much I love that game.
Really,
and Ascension might be something similar because they're making it sound like J.J. Abrams' studio Bad Robot's involved, and I think he's actually involved in the project too, which is cool. But it's a live experience, and I'm very curious how that gets shaped. So. I don't know.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully. All the projects can sound very promising. Like I said, F in particular is the one that's like, this could be a good game. Like Siren was a game series that not a lot of people remember, but that was a horror series, Silent Hill-esque, that was based in Japan as well. And Siren was incredible for that. Like it was a very scary game series, and it kind of fell off. I think they only made games in the PS2 era, maybe PS3, if I remember correctly. And seeing F, it's like, oh, that could maybe fill that Siren void, but I don't know.
Okay. Let us know your thoughts. But, there's another thingy that these boys saw this week that I'm sure they're very excited to talk about. I don't know if maybe it's both or one. That's the mouth cover. Folks, we got a new trailer also for Final Fantasy 1600. And... No, Final Fantasy 16. There was a new trailer that dropped for Final Fantasy 16. I'll put up on the screen in a moment. And this wasn't a full-blown showcase. We kind of have two sort of showcases to talk about this week. But Final Fantasy just dropped a trailer that really is diving into the lore of the game. And if you were curious more about, like, okay, how many characters? What's this world going to be? Because it seems like every Final Fantasy game is basically a different world. Yeah. We finally got our look at that. Game of Thrones, the Final Fantasy game. As somebody that is not, if you're curious, I am not really like, I respect Final Fantasy from afar, but I'm not a fan. I've only played 10, 15. I think that's it, actually. So I'm going to let you guys take the reign on this. And I'm just curious, how different is this world compared to other Final Fantasy games?
So okay, hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go first, dude.
Hold on, but even before I talk about 16, I need to ask.
Okay,
You played
okay.
10 and 15. You played literally my favorite Final Fantasy game and my least favorite Final Fantasy game. So I need to ask before we get into this. I need to ask.
So 15 was your favorite, right?
15 was my least favorite.
I'm kidding.
Shut up.
Okay.
So I need to ask, like, what did you dislike from both games that you played? Like, what kind of put you off the series?
Well, and nothing really put me off of it. It's just one of those. I've never played an Assassin's Creed. I've never played a Resident Evil.
Oh wow!
I only recently played a God of War. Like, there's just some franchises I haven't touched. So there was nothing about Final Fantasy. It was just one of those franchises I never got to. I watched a lot of people play. I've heard a lot of people talk about. So nothing put me off about those games. But I'll tell you what. In regards to 16, though, because there was a previous report about, like, we don't want 16 to be an open world game. In fact, it's not going to be that. If you didn't know, now you know. Yeah. And they just want it to be a much more focused, streamlined experience. I am super for that. And this trailer kind of shows how it really could be that. I don't know, Onyx, what else do you got about Final Fantasy 16?
So I'll try to keep it short because I could talk about 15 or 16
We need
and
to let
Final
Rudy
Fantasy
go.
in general for a long time. I mean, I made a video analyzing a trailer. The previous trailer, I spent like 10 minutes just analyzing every little bit of footage. But this game, I mean, so if you know a little bit about the developers, right? Yoshi P and his staff at Creative Business Unit 3, they turned around Final Fantasy 14, right? They turned that launch was awful, and they turned around to be essentially the biggest MMO, right? And they are now able to tell a story they've been wanting to tell in their own way, right? Square Enix really trusts them. This, as you can see, looks to be the most mature Final Fantasy. It looks to be the most violent Final Fantasy.
For sure.
It is a Final Fantasy that, per Yoshi P's interviews, is made for new fans, to bring in new fans, but also to the people that grew up playing Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 15 was supposed to be that,
that's a good
right?
point.
And it didn't really do that well. It tried to be too much at the same time. This looks so laser focused on delivering what they want to deliver. Like, I'm like super hyped for the 7 Remake series as well. I like 7. I'm really big into 7 Remake. But this game, like, I look at those trailers and all I see is this confidence in every single screen that whether it's a good game or a bad game, it's a game they want to make. And I love that. I love when I see that in gaming, and it's like, yes, it's a AAA game. Hundreds of people have touched this game, but this is a vision, a singular vision shared by these people, and it excites me because, God, it looks good. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. And
the thing that I just want to comment on and let Rudy go as well, but I just about being, like, as you said, like, I'm a new fan or whatever, and I just, that's something I've always respected about Final Fantasy, is that every game is its own entry. That's what it feels like. Every game is its own entry, and that's super cool. You don't have to play the previous. No. And one of my biggest issues with 15, and that goes with this trailer, was, as you said, like, they introduced so much at once. Go watch the movie if you want more context. Watch this anime.
The anime on YouTube.
So much stuff that you had to do, but it seems like this game, they're as a follow-up, they're like, okay, let's just make a solid game. Doesn't need to be massive. Doesn't need to expand. Rudy, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel all giddy and warm inside, man. I'm ridiculously excited for this game. Now, I do want to go ahead and add with what you mentioned about 15. One of just a little thing that I did not like about it, because I did play it at launch, was that it came out incomplete. And there were important story segments that were not delivered right then and there at launch. In terms of, like, Final Fantasy overall, I played a good amount. I played 8, 9, 8 being my first one, 10. I did not play 10-2, which Onyx always makes fun of me for that. I will one day. 13, 13-2, 15, obviously, and 4. 4 is absolutely amazing. But there's still a lot that I would like to see within the franchise. I'm going to reiterate a lot of things that Onix has already said. This looks like a Game of Thrones of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, it looks mature. It looks like they are hitting everything that's there. There's, for anime fans, there is a little bit of Attack on Titan influence, in my opinion. And I think Onix agrees with that, with seeing the summons and whatnot. Or actually, they're the icons, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they're icons in this one. And like, the combat is really good. They have
Can
people
I ask
from
a quick
Devil May
question
Cry.
about that? Sorry, the icon thing. Is that
Yeah,
just
go
their
ahead.
new way of doing Aeon? You know, like that's their new Aeon thing in this? Because isn't that a theme of a lot of the games, having
That's just
summonable Aeons?
the name, right? Like every Final Fantasy has a form of summon, and they have sometimes different names.
Okay.
Like an 8,
Newbie
they're
here,
called
so
Guardian Forces and stuff. So in this game they're called icons, but it seems to be different. It's like the summon is actually part of that character, like you said,
and I
AOT
think that's cool.
style.
Yep. Sorry. Keep going, Rudy. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. So yeah, like this reminded me of Attack on Titan, kind of getting that where you see people transform into these icons, and there are political ramifications that are in there as well. I loved Final Fantasy 12, for the record. I enjoyed it. I barely remember the story because it's been forever, but that was one of the few games where I put in 100+ hours growing up, like where I finished it. There was no DLC at the time. Like, it was like, once it was done, it was done. But I literally did everything, all the jobs and everything. This reminds me of that political nature of it. So you have your action, you have your maturity, you have the political, well, seemingly political interwoven stories and things like that. This just seems like everything. Like, I'm being hesitant because 15 was 15, but this looks so good. The clout behind it is amazing. Like, I'm getting chills just freaking talking about it. It's gonna be good. I'm excited.
I did tune into you guys' reaction. I just see Rudy. He's like, wasn't that kind of amazing?
Yeah, dude, and there's gonna be sex, so that's cool.
And there's gonna either that or the aftermath. It's either that or the aftermath.
Probably the aftermath. You know, they'll be classy about it. They'll be like, "Hey, these people totally did it, but hey, we're not gonna show you guys. We're classy."
What I just want to say,
that's cool. You know?
What I just want to say to potentially cap it is you guys are much more experienced than me as Final Fantasy fans. So, and that's like, I love this because I'm getting insight as somebody that, you know, has only played a couple of the games and has observed them. And I do have friends that love them. The thing that I am digging in this the most, and as you guys are saying, you know, Game of Thrones, Attack on Titan, potential influence, this trailer specifically, they talk a lot about the factions and the setting of the world. This is Final Fantasy 16. This is the situation that this Final Fantasy is in. And with all these different factions and kingdoms, instead of just focusing on the one potentially, I'm really hoping that they can figure out how to tell a tale that really... there is not necessarily just a straight bad guy. I like the idea... because there is a main character you play as, and you see that briefly in this again. But I'm just worried about it bouncing around between too many things and too many potential people to try to relate to. So I'm really hoping they pull that off. That was the main thing I came away with this trailer, that I'm like, I love that. I hope you can execute it. So
I have faith because they have said that the story will take place. Like the main character, Clive, we're going to see him go through his teens into his 20s and even to his 30s. So we're talking somehow 3 decades worth of story within this game, right? Condensed into this, you know, I'm assuming 40 to 70 hour adventure. I'm just going to throw a number out there. I don't know. I think they'll be able to do it because you're right. I don't think it's going to be one singular villain. My theory is that he's wanting revenge for the death of his friend Joshua. That's literally my theory. And he's trying to get all these people at certain points in his life. You know, whether it takes him 10 years to do so or 20 or whatever the case may be, it's going to be very interesting. But that's my take on it, right? So I think that it's just going to be this almost Aaron-like, I'm gonna go for everybody because everybody hate people, you know, and I'm for it. I'm for it.
Yeah, I kind of vibe with what Onix said. Also, like Final Fantasy 14, like is massive. It is massive, and there are a lot of. I haven't played it. Like Crystal said in chat, I did technically start it, but I have not gone any further just because of the time commitment. Again, being a dad, but there is a huge story that's there, and there are a lot of interwoven characters, lore, everything kind of like just combines into this massive epic tale. Condense that into, what Onix said, a 40, 70 hour game. I think it's totally doable. I think it'll be fine. And we've seen in previous Final Fantasy titles where you think that the main enemy is X, and then all of a sudden there's somebody else behind them. And then even sometimes there's somebody else behind them as well. I think there's a lot of space for story and development with these characters. And 30-year span, dude, yes, please.
That's something that I don't think very many games have done. I can't think of another game that I'm like, you follow this character
it's like I said,
in a story to that long,
It's gonna be, if they execute it right, this could be really something special. But we're gonna keep moving. We have one more showcase to talk about. You thought Silent Hill was the only horror showcase this year. This week. No, it's not just that. It is Resident Evil, ladies and gentlemen. Resident Evil also had a showcase this week, mostly talking about Resident Evil Village, RE-verse, and the expansion of Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 4. You can see on the screen here, we're going to summarize what happened. But basically, you have a new trailer for the Winter expansion, which comes with the Rose DLC for Resident Evil 8. You're also going to get the third-person mode, which is coming out this week, actually. So fun fact, if you want an excuse to replay Resident Evil 8, you can, because it's going to get that third-person mode. Is that a free patch, or is that with the Golden Edition? Should be, but
that is
the Gold
with the
Edition
Golden
comes
Edition.
with everything.
With the Golden Edition.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well.
So it's like paid DLC, essentially.
Gotcha. The third. Okay, gotcha. You also got RE-verse, more just reminding you that's a thing, and that's going to be coming potentially, I think this month, I think they said. Early access maybe starting October 24th. And, of course, new look at Resident Evil 4 Remake. And it's a very meaty look. You get a solid 3 to 5 minute gameplay snippet with the new story trailer. And man, a Silent Hill and Resident Evil showcase in 1 week. Again, horror fans be eating good.
They are.
It's Spooktober.
Totally.
Yeah.
Man.
And you got a you got a Dead Space one earlier this month too.
Yes. And Callisto Protocol, the Dead Space what is it called? Not
well, we didn't get a new thing for that, but yeah. Horror fans be eating good just overall.
Yeah. Now you said you never played Resident Evil, right?
Correct. I have watched my friends play it a lot though growing up, but yes, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, have you actually considered playing it, or is it are you a fan of horror games or action horror this?
Onyx, let me tell you, I am a baby when it comes to horror games. I can't do it unless it's Phasmophobia, and that's only because in that game you get to choose when you get to leave. You get to choose when you get to leave. That's the only reason. But I am, but that's why Resident Evil's 5 and 6, which weren't that critically acclaimed, sweet, it's action horror. But then they went back to the roots of being actual horror, and I'm like, no. But it's great to see that life has been brought back to this franchise. And so Rudy, I would tell you, have you played the 2 and 3 remake?
I've played the 2. I have not played 3 actually. Okay. I need to borrow that from Onyx's Steam family plan thing.
So I'm curious, as you look at Resident Evil 4 remake, did you play the original for both of you?
Yeah, Onyx and I have it right here. I have it for when it was only for GameCube. It is right there. But we also have it for Steam, and we love it.
Do you notice any differences here? Because again, I'm going to rely on you guys on this one. Is there any big differences you're seeing, or how much it's paying tribute? Let's start with Rudy first.
So I think that there are definitely a lot of differences in terms of the mechanics of that were shown. They're being very liberal. Lighting, color palette. I did like some of the cheeky nature in what was it that he said? Send me a bill or something like that.
Yes, when he breaks the door window, send me a bill. Yeah.
Yes. So you can tell that there are some things that are changed, but the one thing that I always wanted was to have that cheeky, almost fun side of Resident Evil 4 to be there. I still hope that we can use eggs as weapons in the game. There's so many things that were in the original that made it its own thing, and I think that I look at some of the games that are coming out today, and some of that is lost. We're almost everything has to be very, very mature. Everything has to be, super, super hyper realistic. And it's just guys, we got to have a little bit of fun as well.
Yes.
Am I excited for this remake? Heck yeah. Dude, I can't wait to see how the parasites are going to look in this game. Like we saw a little bit, but everything that was there looked very, very well done. I just hope that that nature, that heart that was in RE4 originally remains the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is actually a comment because you like segued perfectly to it. There was somebody that sent in not really a question, but just a comment, being Andrew Bestow. They said, so excited for the Resident Evil 4 remake. It looks so faithful to the original game, and the tension and fear factor looks like it's been cranked up to 10, which is awesome. So stoked to see all the characters and relive the story in a new light. Onix, do you kind of feel like, as somebody, again, that you both are fans of 4, does it seem like that? Like it's the game, but they're still keeping that horror factor in mind that they've kind of been building with the past 5 years? Yeah.
Yeah, see, like, before Resident Evil 4 came out originally, most of the games were strictly horror. They were survival horror, right? Limited weapons or limited ammunition, limited healing supplies. You had to plan out whether it was a good idea to kill the zombie or not. Like, should I run away? Should I take it down? Do I have enough bullets? Do I have enough ribbons to save my game? With Resident Evil 4, they went for a more action-heavy focus. And it worked, right? Resident Evil 4 is not really a scary game, the original. It's not. It's full of tense moments where, holy crap, there are so many enemies surrounding me, and I'm like deathly afraid to die. But it wasn't like here's a 10-minute spooky section of just you walking in a really dark hallway and stuff is popping out. It's not like that. With
survival horror is a good word. I think that's a good word. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was the original intent of Resident Evil. It was survival horror. And Resident Evil 4 changed that, right? And that's why 5 and 6 are action games, because RE4 set the standard. With the remake, it looks like they are trying to bring more horror into it, which is fine. I'm accepting this as a new vision, new direction to a game that I absolutely adore, because RE4, the original, is one of my favorite games of all time, period. Like top 10, right? I've replayed that game like 20 times. And it looks good. I'm not going to be a cynic here and say that it doesn't, because it does look fantastic. I just, like Rudy said, I really hope they remember what made that game special, because it is so cheeky, dude. It is so corny. Like Leon is running away from boulders. You have to like hit a QTE button, like just run and dash. There's this like trophy that somebody mentioned in chat where you shoot the water and like this monster just comes up and eats you. Like it's just stupid crap like that I hope they don't forget. And I think they haven't, based on the trailer and seeing him like shoot the cow or the fire over the cow lights on fire, hits the enemies, and he says that one-liner. It's like, okay, maybe they haven't forgotten, but it's not just a one-liner. There's other parts with the other villains and characters that are like just really corny, and I love it. But I have faith. I really do have faith in the game.
Yeah, the cheek. I'm with you guys. I hope the cheekiness is there, because I know that is a thing that Resident Evil, Capcom, hell, I'll even say Capcom, because that was also the time that they might have been transitioning to Dead Rising, which is full of cheeky gameplay. But I hope that stays intact as well. I've seen a lot of Resident Evil, and I was really, as somebody that hasn't played the original, but I've seen tons of it, because one of my best friends, it's like his favorite game of all time too, so I watched him play through it a lot. Yeah, and I was thoroughly impressed by this trailer, because one, visually it looks great, of course, as has the remakes that Capcom's been doing.
RE engine, man.
Yeah, that RE engine is doing work, dude.
Yeah.
But it just still, it seems tense. It seems that cheekiness still might be in play, as that, send me the bill line is still intact. And I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it. So,
are you going to play it?
I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'm much more tempted by this one than 2 and 3 and 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Because this one
fair.
Seems like the good middle ground for folks like me that are absolute babies, kind of a thing. So
I had to like convince Onix to play 7, man. Like I wanted him to play, and I don't blame him. First person horror is like a whole different level in my opinion.
That's what gets me. First person horror.
Man.
First person.
It's so rough,
yes.
man.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
But
Village was fun. Just throwing that out there.
Village is very actiony.
I've heard
very action heavy.
Yep. So we have one juicy topic to hit though, and that is, we had a lot of big stuff this week. There was the Silent Hill presentation, there was the Final Fantasy 16 trailer, and there was the Resident Evil stuff. Was this potentially all from a canceled PlayStation showcase? This comes from IGN. Sony PlayStation Showcase 2022 delayed likely to because of the ongoing Microsoft Activision investigation. Don't worry, we're not going to talk about that. This is just a repercussion of that potential report. But basically, there was an industry insider that's apparently decently credible that tweeted out, I think it was earlier this week around Monday, the ongoing CMA investigation for Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard has indeed delayed any showcase plans for Sony, Millie wrote on Twitter. Exclusive titles and first-party IP were locked in, but Sony believes the showcase will add weight to the Microsoft arguments. Silent Hill and Kojima, Who I Am reveal, were supposed to be a part of the show. The initial announcement of the showcase was scheduled for the 11th of October, with the showcase taking place October 20th. Sony is holding firm on it for now. And, you know, these rumors, these leaks, these industry insiders, you have to take them with a grain of salt. But I just want to point out, this tweet, whatever, came out literally at the start of the week, before any of the stuff we talked about this show happened.
Right.
It came out before all of it. And then right after the tweet, we see Silent Hill 2 Remake, a PlayStation exclusive, get announced. We see Resident Evil, who has very much leaned to the marketing side of PlayStation for pretty much all their games, for that franchise specifically. And we also got a Final Fantasy 16 trailer, a game that is exclusive to PlayStation. We don't know. Again, this is just for fun conversation. But that's a lot of things that potentially line up with there was supposed to be a showcase this week. And even the tweet said we're supposed to have Silent Hill and Kojima show up. Now, Kojima didn't show up this week, but Silent Hill did. And I just find that really crazy. And I'm curious. Let's start with Onix. Do you think there is credence to this? And if there is, how do you react to that?
I think there is credence. I don't know historically when Sony's like fall showcases have been. Like Nintendo with their directs are like almost every September. There's a Nintendo Direct, right?
September. I think they're also around September, but it's never consistent. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I do think there's credence because like these are all games that would have given us a banger of a showcase, right? If all these trailers, like,
this would have been a banger showcase,
a fantastic showcase, and obviously these are all missing the Sony first party stuff, right? Because these are all third party games. It is a shame. It is a shame that all of this essentially may have taken off the showcase from the docket of our schedules, but I don't know. It's one of those things where at least we got the trailers. At least we got to see the games, and the more this happens, the more I think companies are going to lean away from, like, we don't need showcases. We don't need to be at E3s. Yep. We have our own thing. I can drop this trailer on Twitter today, and it's going to get just as much traction as it were if it wasn't a showcase.
Can I offer a rebuttal, though? Because this is a curiosity question, too. I love that we got these trailers, as you said, but something fun about like the general Nintendo Directs, the Xbox Showcase, the PlayStation, you don't know what's going to be in it.
Indeed. That is true.
You don't know. It's a surprise. So that makes the reaction factor super fun, or just like the speculation. But when you know there's a Silent Hill thing coming up, what are they going to show, kind of a thing? You know, that's one thing I will.
That is a very good point. No, that's a fantastic point. The surprise factor, it makes the showcases worth tuning in for. You know, I agree with that. Yeah.
There's Jacob in the chat saying, there's Jacob in the chat saying, if true, why doesn't PlayStation just hold the event? Because it showed the CMA doesn't care for whatever Microsoft says or is arguing about. I don't. So, and just for context, because if you don't understand, if you're whatever, you've been under a rock. The basically what the tweet is getting at is Sony right now is. We talked about this last week in Good Game, where they don't want Microsoft to. They're trying to pose them as like the bad guy that could be making a lot of things exclusive or having content that isn't available to PlayStation people. And that's why they didn't want to do the showcase this week, because that investigation is still going on. And it's a tactic. It's a tactic, but man, I don't want to talk about the CMA and Activision stuff, but it's just like I mostly want to focus on just the fact that we could have really had a banger ass showcase this week from PlayStation.
Yeah, we really could have.
And there's also, because we don't know their timeline either. We did get something earlier this week from God of War that was like the recap thing, but I think that's actually going to be in the base game. So I hear from the previews at least. It's just recapping the first game, and potentially we I think also this week Insomniac said like, yeah, we're still on the time to release in 2023 for Spider-Man 2. And that's it. We don't really know. We know Wolverine might be coming out in 2023. That's also kind of another story, but it could be. I don't believe that. But we don't know the timeline. So, Rudy, what's the PlayStation showcase that could have been this week, and are you sad not to have gotten it in that fashion?
So I agree with what Onix said, that like there's always going to be, I think COVID, the pandemic, went ahead and showed that we don't necessarily need E3. We don't need even Summer Game Fest. Like when I say we, I mean the publishers. They will literally just drop things whenever they want, if they wanted to.
Right.
On the other side of the coin, I do think that it is huge to have a zeitgeist, kind of like this almost communal event where all the PlayStation fans, we all get together and we watch this showcase together, all get hyped together. And that's where like the majority of the eyes are going to be there. If there is just a showcase, it doesn't mean that, everybody's going to go see an RE Village or a Silent Hill Transmission. For part of me thought that we were just going to see skateboards, guys. Like I thought that in pachinko machines, if I'm 100% honest with you, like that's what I thought. But I went in low expectations, mind blown. Not to delve too deeply into the CMA thing.
Yeah.
If this is a tactic on PlayStation to make themselves look less powerful while this CMA thing is happening, that's on them. Like whatever.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, we still got the trailers. We still found out about the games that are coming out. I don't know. I prefer to have like big events and stuff like that. If all of this kind of like combined into one thing, it would have been banger, dude. It would have been freaking awesome. I would have like lost the rest of my hair. It would have been so freaking good,
It would have came off your face. Like it's just
right.
Silent Hill.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude. And that's what I mean, though. It really could have, because the thing that I will say, because I admit I'm like, I primarily am very much into the Xbox side of things, and that's just because of Game Pass, where it's like
it's beautiful.
Because that's the hype part about their showcases. It's like, what are they going to add to Game Pass? Like, I can play it, kind of a thing. But the thing that I bank on PlayStation showcases for is, however they do it, or for whatever reasons, there is some good ass third party shit that shows up in those things. And that's why I'm saying, like, with these, the Final Fantasy 16, I saw Gaming Duo mention, to be fair, it's a timed window, but it's still a window. And we would have, we would have saw FF16. We would have saw Silent Hill. We would have saw potentially Resident Evil. But I mean, they announced the RE4 remake in the last showcase.
Yep.
So it could have been a banger showcase.
The whole time thing, like the same thing they said the same thing with Final Fantasy 7 remake, didn't they? That there was going to be a timed exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, and it was time exclusive on PlayStation, and then they put it on PC a year later, like to the day, a year. Yeah. So they are time exclusives, but they're not. That's why they're not saying timed console exclusives. Right? They're focusing on like the fact that they're going to go on PC. So for 1 year, 16 is going to be on a PlayStation 5. The year later, more than likely it'll be on PC only, unless Square comes up with the deal with MS or whoever. I'm not sure how that deal worked. I don't know if like Sony put down the money and went to Square, or vice versa. Square was like, hey, do you guys want to want to hold the rights. I'm not sure how it works. I'm going to assume it's like the big names, like Sony going to the companies and throwing the money down and saying like, "Hey, I want this for a year." But that's what I'm assuming.
There's somebody
for the record, I foresee Final Fantasy 16 coming like multi-plat because there's 13,
God,
15,
so.
like like I definitely see it happening.
I don't know, man. 7 Remake. It's been almost fucking 2 years.
I mean, that's 7 Remake, but I digress.
Yeah. There's Apex Predator in the chat saying, he added me saying, every PlayStation showcase has third-party exclusive game. Them actually stopping their showcase is to prove Microsoft's point, actually makes them even more hypocritical. That's the thing. I mean, again, we don't want to dive too into it, but it's just, I more so just kind of want to focus on just the fact that there may have been a showcase this week. Again, we don't know.
Yeah.
But just that tweet happening before all this was really coincidental. It was really coincidental. So
absolutely,
we don't need like tin hats for this. Like there's definitely some things there for sure.
It was just the timing of it. That's really, or this person just like, you know what? I think this happened. Holy crap! I was right. Yeah. So, I do want to give just those are the main stories this week, and we are hitting the hour, which I do want to like open up to the chat to be able to talk with us. I know there's so much like I want to be able to talk about. That was
so fast though.
I know, this is fun, right?
It is.
But there was a send-in that I will, just because they, Rudy, you sent me this from Oliver Garrett from your Twitter.
Oh yeah.
He was curious. I would like to know your guys' thoughts on the gaming service Netflix is coming up with, as well as when do you guys think cloud gaming will be officially, quotation, ready for the public? And if you don't know what this is about, is essentially, I'm pulling up an article here. I think we've knew about this, but just it kind of got reiterated this week that Netflix really wants to, this is from The Verge, they're trying to reclaim the Netflix for games crown from Xbox Game Pass. This comes from The Verge, but essentially what it is they're really doubling down on seriously exploring a cloud gaming service. And there's an interesting thing here that I did want to read out. I think it is this. Is it Google? I just want to read out this part and just get your guys' comments on it briefly. The risk might be worth it because cloud gaming would immediately open up Netflix's gaming strategy in a big way. The company could theoretically offer games on every screen where you watch Netflix, which is true. By this point, you probably already heard something like that pitched a few times, but Netflix doesn't seem interested in a standalone service. Based on comments from the company's gaming boss, Mike Verdu, it seems as if it will be leaning more towards Xbox's actually successful version of cloud gaming. And he said, for us, delivering the games to your TV or to your PC is a value add. And we're not asking you to subscribe on a console replacement, so it's completely different. It's a completely different business model, which is different from Stadia, a standalone service that relied on a fractured business model that offered both full-price games and a subscription that only gave you access to select titles. And that's obviously the reason Stadia failed, because you had to pay the subscription and buy the games at the same time. Whereas Microsoft is like, pay for our subscription, you get everything as long as it's on a device that supports Game Pass. So, Rudy, I guess, because this was on your Twitter, I don't know if you got thoughts about this of just Netflix's cloud service, and when do you think cloud gaming will be regular?
It's going to be a bit, I think. Now, let me just go ahead and also state that I have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. When I travel, that is like my go-to. I take my Sonic Blue Xbox Series X controller and I freaking plug it in,
more than your Switch,
and keep.
Do you think?
I would give or take, because the thing is that when I travel, so normally I spend 2-3 months in Europe, I family and whatnot, but now I have the Steam Deck, I have the Nintendo Switch. It's gonna be difficult to kind of like pick and choose what to play with, but when it comes to cloud gaming, it really, there's so many factors that are outside of the company's control that affect the gaming experience. That's what a lot of people like. They can optimize the hell out of it, but it's also not just like the bandwidth, but it's also the ping, man. Like if you have a horrible ping, and like, I'll be 100% honest with you, Google, they sent me and Onix a Stadia kit, and they were like, here you go, enjoy, blah, blah, blah. And I tried Celeste, one of my favorite platformers. Thank you, Onix, for making me play it. and absolutely like tried playing it as a precision platformer. It was almost unplayable on screen through Stadia. The lag is the biggest factor. Are we there technologically speaking, at least in the United States? Not everywhere. There are places in the United States that have crappy infrastructure that do not support cloud gaming. Will it happen in the future? I don't know, but it might take like 10, 20 years before that becomes like the norm everywhere. Netflix's strategy, though, is sound. They're saying, hey, we have all these people that have these applications already installed on all over their devices. All we got to do is be like, hey, there's a whole section here where you can play games that are included in your subscription already. Yeah. Will that happen, and will it be successful? I don't know. Stadia.
Yeah, this was actually talked about, I think, in episode 3 of Good Game, where I had my friends on, because we're talking about that Logitech thing that came out.
Right.
Yeah, and we actually are in the opinion that streaming is actually going to become a regular thing, potentially 4 or 5 years from now. And I just say that because it's becoming so. Because your Twitter person said, like, when do you think it'll be actually quotation mark ready? It is technically. It's totally usable, as you just said. Like people do use it. It just not for every game. If you're playing a shooter or a fighter or a platformer, you might want to hesitate. But if it's something that you can deal with the third of a second of a delay, then it's totally ready right now. But will it be like a lot less latency or a lot more regular in the market? That I think will be. I personally don't think quite more than 10 years. I really think it could be 5 years, maybe even at the most. And Netflix doing this, I don't know. It makes sense for them. I'm very very curious to see where it takes them. But
I mean, they're compression gods. They're able to provide a quality image. Like when it comes to actually like 4K like presentation, obviously it's nothing as good as like an ultra 4K HD Blu-ray, but when it comes to the actual game and all that, it'll look good. I just want that input lag to be as low as possible, and that's the one thing that concerns me out of all this. Yeah. But like I said, like I play on xCloud like all the time when I'm traveling, because it's just super convenient. And Onix knows, like, especially being in Japan, no flex over there, that when he was in Japan, that the infrastructure over there led towards all of these cloud games being released on Nintendo Switch. Like they have the infrastructure for that. I would love to see that over here in the United States. Yeah.
Sorry, coughing. There is some chat messages that I wanted to hit, and then we got to do our good game.
Yeah.
But Onix, I don't know if you had like a brief comment, then feel free to shoot it out.
I don't like the idea of games being only streaming, right? Because games even though this wasn't a stream game, Overwatch 1 is, you cannot play that game anymore, and that's that goes to show you the potential of this all digital future. Right? If there's a game that you want to play that is available on these platforms and you can only get it digitally or on streaming, once they delist that game and you don't have a copy of it, it's gone. And even if you do have a copy, the servers are dead. Like in Overwatch's case, you're screwed. You can't play it anymore. You know what I mean? So that kind of shows me a very ominous cloud of the future if it is cloud-based. But I think just to. Yeah, Japan's 5G was incredible. It blew my mind how incredibly intense, how strong the connection was on my phone. And that's why all these games, people like in the West, you're like, why the hell are they releasing these like cloud versions of these games? Kingdom Hearts is the exception. I think they could have done. But all these other games, like
it's a PS2
in
game,
Japan, like Switch sells games, dude. Like look at Splatoon 3. Like them putting it on a
games
cloud
everywhere, man.
Right? In Japan, a country that has good internet just everywhere, and then even the public internet in the train station is decent too. Like, it makes sense. So that's it.
Yep. And we might see Netflix. Who knows? And now, chat, I want to offer you just a quick moment before we do. We're gonna do a good game where these boys are going to be. We decided before this. Yeah, we're going to be competing in something. But just a moment with you, chat. I do see some people are adding, and if you would like to support the show, feel free to do a super chat or dono in the description. Also, Patreon. You get Discord. You get to chat with us, be a part of game nights and so on, which we're going to have next Saturday. But Jacob in the chat said, I'm a person that actually liked what PlayStation was doing, locking third-party games. But then either, I don't know what that word is, so I'm going to skip it. But then Jim needs to accept what Xbox are doing, or he's getting fired after Microsoft gets APK. I don't know. I don't know about fired, and I don't know if this is entirely really Jim's decision per se. I have to say it's probably much more of a Microsoft and Sony case than necessarily just like Phil and Jim going at it. Like, I'm sure they're a part of it, but I have a feeling it's much like the entirety of the companies.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's Apex with a huge attraction. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that like I like, you know, like for me, I have always believed that the more people that have access to play a game, the better, which is why Persona 5 Royal's release like this week was so massive, because you see people on Xbox, you see people on PlayStation, you see people on Switch playing like this amazing game. And like, how many times have I, like, after I played it, I told Onix, I was like, dude, you have to play this game. Like, it's so good. Like, it's amazing. I know it's 120 plus hours, but trust me.
That's what I'm worried about.
Well, I have to finish it. You mean?
Yeah.
I played 85 hours into that game.
Like the final
I played that shit. 80 hours? I played that game, damn it.
Oh man, but you haven't seen the credits. But no, I digress. I digress. But like, I understand it's a tactic. You know, if I'm telling you, hey, like, I'm gonna pay you X amount of money, I'm gonna invest X amount of money into this game, but please give me exclusive rights for X amount of time. It makes sense. It makes sense. It's a tactic. I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. And Microsoft has been combating that by literally buying studios. It's tit for tat, so to speak. I don't know. I like what Sony has been doing so far. That's all.
Yeah.
And to just mention something really quickly on what Rudy said, I don't mind time exclusives, but I don't like those as much as like a legit exclusive, because consoles they need exclusives. Like, if they don't have any exclusives, then I would get a Series X, because that's the more powerful console, right? But exclusives are what keeps people coming back to those consoles. That's what gives them the lifeline. So, and obviously the social aspects of it as well, right? Like, my buddies play on PlayStation, I'd rather get a PlayStation and stuff like that. But timed exclusives are like the worst, in my opinion, because it's like, okay, this is gonna be on other consoles and other people will play them. It's just later, like
because then they come into the choice like, do I wait? Yeah,
exactly. So it's trying to prey on the I don't want to miss out now FOMO, literally preying on FOMO.
Yep.
Versus like, okay, I know for a fact this ain't going anywhere, so I have to get this console if I want to play that game. End of story. You know, so yeah.
In my opinion, because I agree, like, and I did a video, I forgot what the topic, well, I'm pretty sure the topic is just like exclusives are potentially becoming a thing of the past. But like, I do believe like exclusives are important. I think the part that I almost debate is I almost want it to just be from the first party peeps though. And I want like those third party peeps to just post wherever the hell, you know, they feel like it or can or whatever. Right. That's kind of my happy medium. But obviously, you know, that's fair. That's totally fair, because that's what makes sense. And you're not going to see Mario on an Xbox or a PlayStation because that's a Nintendo franchise. So, but competition happens. Competition happens, and that's what makes these things happen. But I want to keep moving. There's Apex with a huge attraction for Persona 5 on Xbox, and the huge marketing they did for it in Japan, which they did. If that's a story in itself. Like, damn, is Persona 5 getting pushed in Japan for Xbox? But the huge marketing they did in Japan. Do you think it will change Square's mind on keeping Final Fantasy on one platform? Onix is nodding. I'm gonna say no, man. And there's a reason why. So. I saw a tweet, which I wish I remember the details, but it pretty much showed the first like 48 hours of data from Xbox's like top played games, and Persona 5 didn't even crack top 10. So they said they're gonna, like, the tweeter said they're gonna wait a week and see what the week looks like later. But it's like typically big games that come out even on Game Pass will show top 10, and it didn't, and that doesn't bode well. Again, it's only 48 hours. But I would also argue that I'm like, man, this is also a 5-year-old game.
It is. It's a 5-year-old game that already sold millions of copies.
Right.
And it's
like
it's
everybody
a
that
JRPG.
wanted to play that game found a way to. Not all of them, but like
Dude.
maybe like 80% of them.
Do you think that they're pandering towards the Japanese market? That is clearly where they're trying to gain more footage on.
It's possible.
I think
right?
that's
Because
that's
all of the
probably
marketing that they put
why.
over there, this is one of the biggest JRPGs, and Xbox has been, compared to the last generation, has been increasing its foothold on the market over there.
Yep.
Now, clearly they're being outperformed by PlayStation and Nintendo Switch,
Right.
but there's still that factor that they're trying to kind of gain more. So, hey, we have Yakuza, or, well, Like a Dragon now. And we also have Persona 5 Royal. There are other JRPGs that they may have partnered or have things working in the back to kind of just bring people onto their platform. I think that this is something that Xbox as a whole is not going to see the benefits to until literally next generation. But
Yeah.
I agree. 5-year-old game looks cool. I'm just excited for everyone.
And wait, yeah, but FF doesn't make Apex, yeah, but Final Fantasy doesn't make the top 10 on PlayStation either, though. I mean, it just depends on timing and how new is the release. There's a lot of factors,
Yeah.
I'm sure, but
Yeah, right. This isn't a brand new game, like you said. It's a 5-year-old
Yeah.
game that's getting a port, and I don't know. And like Rudy said, Like a Dragon was also, it's a good example. That was a timed exclusive, the next gen version on Series X. We didn't get a PS5 version until like 9 months later or some
Yeah.
weird thing like
which
that.
that'd be a good way to see like how did that do when it released to PlayStation.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah.
We have another segment that I want to hit before we have our friendly good game. But and by the way, chat, thank you guys very much for watching. I see Jacob, Apex, Crystal, Adonis. Thank you guys very much.
Yes, thank you.
But yeah, just a new segment I kind of think is always a fun one. I did this last week is coming this week. If you didn't like anything this week, maybe there's something this week. I have on screen probably the main 3, but you got Mount of the Blade, Bannerlord, Victoria 3, Gunfire Reborn, which I almost forgot that existed. Weird game about animals shooting each other. Signalis, Saturnalia, Star Ocean, The Divine Force, Bayonetta 3, Factorio, Resident Evil Village Cloud version, Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. To me, the main 3 here, though, are if you're a JRPG person, as we were just talking about Persona, there's Star Ocean, The Divine Force, which to me looks really weird. But if you're a fan, I don't know. There's Bayonetta 3, which obviously there was controversy surrounding that recently, but a lot of people are still stoked and still top of the chart selling on Amazon. And Call of Duty's next and last game, because they're taking next year off apparently. So
Really good for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're
right,
into any of these, let us know in the chat. I don't know if any of these 3 or the games I read off resonate with any of you guys. You already mentioned Bayonetta, but
Bayonetta, baby, day 1, day 0.
Yes.
I'm a Bayonetta
Yes.
stan. I've loved them since the first one. I'm a big character action game fan. I love Devil May Cry, love Bayo. So Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance. I'm into that stuff, man. And Star Ocean was a game that I was looking forward to because I've always wanted to play the game as an RPG fan myself. Played a demo a bit, didn't really hit it off. So probably gonna skip that one out. But Bayonetta 3 is like the game this week.
yeah,
I'm kind of in the same boat.
same.
I'm literally playing through Bayo 1 and like I literally have Bayo 2 sitting right here.
You put aside
It's-
Requiem for it, Rudy. How dare you?
It's right there.
How dare you?
But no, dude. No, I swear I'm gonna play Requiem. Requiem, like, dude, yes, please. I can't wait to play that as well.
We'll
but
synchronize.
I
We'll
want to play.
synchronize.
We'll sync it up. We'll sync it up. But I want to play Bayo 2 before Bayo 3 comes out, and then I'll let you know because I loved Innocence, man. But dude, Bayo is so good. If you've never played it, man, do yourself a favor. It's so good.
Fun. They're like
They're fun and they're not
Yeah.
super long. That's the other thing.
no,
Yeah.
no, they're not at all.
Yeah, and I see Crystal in the chat saying COD games having a break is a good idea. It will, especially it'll. I love it. They're taking a break. Don't be just chugging them out. But yeah, Modern Warfare 2 is that's gonna be their last like main release. They're just gonna be updating their games next year, and that might be cool for the other reasons we might have teased that previously. I don't know. We'll see. But all right, folks. To end these shows off, I always like to have fun with you. I saw Nike just joined. Hi, Nike. I always like to have fun with a friendly good game. And these boys, I gave a choice, and it sounds like they chose Guess the Theme, to which you guys got to see. My friends Caleb and Michael tried this out 2 weeks ago, where you're going to hear a game theme come on. Actually, it was 3 weeks ago. You're going to hear a game theme come on, and it's going to be something that you will hopefully recognize. And I think you have 20 seconds to guess it. How confident are you both feeling? Are you scared? Do you listen to much game music?
I am so not confident at all in this.
I mean, I listen to music. I do, but I mean, am I gonna be able to recognize a game? You know, a song from 1997? I don't know, man. Maybe.
I'm gonna keep track here and keep our point. So here's what I'm gonna do. It's usually the first to 5, okay? And I'm just gonna be a silent spectator in the background. Yeah, I'm gonna be a silent participant in the background. I am going to let this primarily be between the two of you, but if neither of you can get it by the end of the 10 or 20 seconds it gives you, and I know it, I'm gonna take that point and I'm gonna say what it is.
I like that.
Okay.
You like that? Okay.
Yeah.
That
Before
works.
I was
So
like
you'll
on
win.
the fence
Gotcha.
as I was going, but so do you both see the stream here?
I do.
Okay, yeah. And let me also test here really quick. You hear that?
My favorite stand. Sorry,
Yeah.
yes, I did hear that.
Yeah. Rudy, you're good too?
Yeah, I hear it as well. I have
right.
no idea what that is because I've never played it.
Well, I mean, it's right
Dare
there.
you?
I know, but what I'm
right
saying
there,
is
Rudy.
I have no idea what the name of the song is at all.
Yeah,
Actually,
and you don't have
so
to
is it
say,
the name of the song or is
no,
it the
no, no.
game
So you
that
just
you
have
want
to
to
say
hear?
what game it comes from.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't have to know the name of the track. If you do, then props to you. I don't know. You automatically win. Just kidding. But
I mean,
Chad,
Onyx was literally singing the lyrics. He wins, right?
but he technically didn't say the name. You don't win it by singing
That is true.
it. You win it by saying that the
Damn.
name is.
It's like, I don't know the name of the song, but I know every single word. Please.
Yeah. And Chad, if you're watching, I'll try to switch to this screen now and then. But for now, just trust that I sometimes might forget. But for now, I'm going to do the start graphic. Let the game begin. Here you go. First one.
Hollow Knight. Ooh.
Oh, dang.
I forgot that was
Alright, let
actually
me put up
supposed to be the
volume, man.
warm up. I forgot that was supposed
Okay.
because
Okay.
this
I'm
was
like,
on just honor code. Did you tune in to my previous one? Because this
I did
is
not.
No,
okay, because
no,
this is
no.
what we ended on. So as long as you didn't cheat, yeah. This is supposed to be the
I'm
warm
just
up
gonna put
one,
up the
but-
volume on my end.
Yeah.
You
'cause I
think
can
it-
barely
okay.
hear that. Yeah. That's
So
okay. Take
first-
the point. Take the point.
So-
Hollow Knight.
Wait.
So you got Onix got a point. Dark Knight.
Woo!
Hollow Knight. Okay. Next one.
That's a Mario Kart. but I
That
don't
is a
know which one
Mario.
that is.
Yeah.
I'll potentially give this to Onix because he said it first. If it is.
Yeah.
So we want to go.
But which Mario Kart?
Yeah.
I'll
is it
just
Mario
give it.
64?
I'll
Like, I
give it
mean-
to you if it's just Mario Kart. Okay.
That's weird.
Mario Wii.
I'll just-
There you
I'll
go.
give that to you though. That was still Onix. So Onix got 2 point now.
Dude, that sounded like the vibe. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Hold
Golden
on.
Eye. Ah, shit! Okay.
I admit I need to run that back. Rudy, did you hear Onix say it? You cut yourself off.
Oh
I think.
no, I said it. I literally boom, golden
It was. I think
You
we need a
both-
tiebreaker for that one.
I need a
or we get the
chat.
point.
Does anybody have chat? Does anybody want to be the tiebreaker on that? I'm gonna run it back
Let's.
because I admit I don't
Oh,
know.
my
Like you
God.
both sounded pretty damn spot on.
Let's.
I'm literally running it back. Come on, come back.
Okay.
Wait.
Oh, that's Golden Eye. Ah,
You
oh
were
my
both-
god.
Damn, that's close. I don't think I can. I don't think.
No, that's fine.
That's fine. Either we both
That's-
get a point or we don't get a point. It's fine.
Yeah, whichever one.
Let's do you both get a point. Just because
Okay.
we're already over today, so it's gonna make it a bit more tense for Rudy. But yes, the answer is because I'm totally with you guys. It's 100% GoldenEye. Yeah.
Watch it be like the remake. Not even the original one.
Yeah, Adonis both get a point, so Rudy at least gets one.
Thank you.
So
Thank
Rudy's
you.
at 1, Onix is at 3. Okay. Can't let him get 2 more, Rudy.
I know.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah!
That's fight.
That's definitely just one.
That's MGS1.
That's just one.
It's 1.
Damn,
yeah.
dude. It's god damn, dude.
Tell the MIDI of the
MIDI?
Sorry, dude. I can hear you.
Oh my god. Man.
Nicely done. Onyx is 1 point
Man.
away from winning.
And with the scream at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's so good.
All right.
I love Metal Gear Solid, man.
Oh, that's fine.
Here we go.
DK? No.
Crazy Taxi? No.
Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio?
Possibly.
Is it Jet Set Radio?
I think it's Jet Set Radio.
All right.
I think that's my final guess.
So Onyx is going with Jet Set Radio, whatever, and Rudy, you're going with Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
All right, let's find out.
Yeah! Wait, god damn, dude.
Holy shit!
That's
wow. What a freaking clean sweep.
Man.
I'm sorry.
God
No, it's
damn.
fine. It's fine. I listen to lo-fi hip hop right now.
I listen to
is my main thing.
Wow.
Like that's pretty much all I do while I edit, anyways. That and
Wow.
podcasts, like this one.
Yeah, right.
All right. Thug Finals, me and Rudy. So Onyx clearly won because I have to admit, if I was playing, I only got like 2 of those. So yeah. So Thug Finals, just me and Rudy. Onyx, you be quiet. All right, just me and Rudy.
I'll just say if I know it. Like, I know that.
Yeah. Power Rangers.
No,
Is it?
it's no. Fuck, I know it. Oh,
That's
god
nice.
damn it! It's a
No,
freaking.
Castlevania. I have no fucking idea.
It's a fighting game. It's a Capcom fighting game. You get.
Street Fighter?
Oh, that's
Mega
Mega
Man
Man 5.
No.
Damn.
Ragnar knows.
Damn,
I think
dude.
Ragnar knew that one.
Yeah, Rector. Obviously,
Damn.
That's a Mega Man fan right there.
He's the Mega Man fan. Did
I
you know
have
that?
heard this track
No.
so many times. I'm
No,
so
I
mad.
didn't know
Okay,
it, man.
since so none of us got that one.
Go one more. Get going.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
Damn. I'm so mad. I've heard that track so
hurts.
many times.
X versus
I
Zero.
knew it was
nice.
a Capcom thing. That's all I knew. I'm like, I know for sure it's Capcom. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it, Rudy. Are we just gonna go until Rudy and I get one? Right now.
No, dude. Because this can be so many. It's a Japanese folk like.
I'm just gonna
Yeah,
guess a Yakuza game. That's not right. You just
Oh,
want to
well,
throw it. Well, too late.
Oh no.
No, I would not know.
That's
No, listen, I respect
Just
Naruto, but I have not played any of their games.
Okay,
That would
if we
have been
don't get
Wild
this
Archer
one,
right
then we're just
there,
gonna throw
Onyx.
it out.
Oh man, familiar, but I don't even know what it is. I got lucky with those three first.
I'm just gonna guess
I
Hot
don't know. I
Shot
have no
or
idea.
whatever. That one that's a VR game with a red. I don't think. Oh, Tekken.
Oh,
Okay. Tekken Tag Tournament
Jacob
2.
knew it. Jacob knew it.
Dang. I never played Tekken Tag Tournament 2. I only have
Really?
Tekken Tag 1. Yeah, I only have Tekken Tag 1.
Good job. Well, I'm just gonna.
Good games, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
GG, Onyx. GG.
Oh, good job, Onyx. Onyx, our winner. Oh wait, I have
Thank
a
you,
thing.
thank you,
here.
thank
Where's the ding shing? Yeah, there you go. There's like a sound on the stream of just a ding and a cheer.
Hey.
Nike's like, you guys don't play fighting games. Like, I mean,
Hey, I do play fighting games.
I was gonna say, we
no,
definitely-
dude. We literally just. How many hours did we put into Guilty Gear Strive, man?
60 hours in this drive.
I'm pretty sure I put in like 80 hours into Strive as a dad. Like we're talking about being
Yeah.
dads.
Yeah.
And did
I
you
need
ever
to play
get
more
DNF
Tekken,
Duel?
Yeah.
I never
Did you get
got
DNF Duel?
No.
I saw that it was on sale, but yeah, Tekken, dude.
I'm Tekken
that
8
looks freaking amazing,
Dude. Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was episode
Earlier
2.
when I said Power
Episode
Rangers,
1.
I thought it was Battle for the Grid.
Power
That's what I
Rangers.
thought it was.
When you said that, I'm like, it's not Power Rangers. Like,
I thought it was. I thought it was, man. I was like, Power
that
Rangers.
was the one
I was
that
like,
I'm
yo,
the
that's
most.
it.
Oh, that was what I'm the most mad at. I knew that.
Oh
one.
yeah,
Anyways,
Mega Man X5.
Yeah.
freaking
dude.
folks, this has been Codename Good Game, and I am so happy to have had as on screen here Mr. Rudy and Mr. Onix on. They have been awesome. This has been so much fun, guys. I don't know. Thank you so much for coming. Feel free to closing comments. Onix, you first.
Closing comments. Play Final Fantasy. Play more fighting games. Check out my YouTube channel. I will be working on video essays, including Hunter x Hunter. I'm wearing a Hunter x Hunter shirt because it came back today. New chapter after almost 4 years. Watch it. Whatever. You guys are awesome. Thank you. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, and Onix has told me not to ever watch Chainsaw Man, so I just want to say that he was one that told me I should never ever watch Chainsaw Man.
Funny.
That just oozes sarcasm. It's great. I love it.
Rudy,
Daniel,
final comments from you? Any plugins or whatever you're working on, or just thanks for being here, man.
So first off, thanks for having us, man. Like, this has been phenomenal. Yes, please play Final Fantasy 16. If you have not played Persona 5 Royal, it is an absolutely amazing game. Currently going through Bayo myself, and Bayo 3 is coming out. That's going to be amazing. We have the Gaming Resume, which is our reaction channel, but we also have 2 secondary channels. Mine is Baldly Rudy, so it's kind of like Boldly, but with an A instead. And I do all sorts of like stuff on there, and Onix is working on an amazing video. I cannot wait for that. And at Baldly Rudy and at the Gaming Resume on Twitter and everything else, honestly, you can find us anywhere. So thanks, man. Dude, this is awesome.
Yeah,
It was.
I hope you guys had a good
Thank
time.
you very much for having us, man. Yeah, it was fun. A lot
We
of fun.
clicked, man. I love it. So, all right,
Yeah.
folks, and you can find me as usual. You're already at the right place. We're gonna have another episode next Sunday, and the Sunday after that, I know some of you are gonna look forward to the guest I have on the first Sunday of November. But this has been a great show. Hope you enjoyed. And just a quick shout out, the final poll. What was the most exciting thing to you this week? It was Final Fantasy by a landslide at 55%. So hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much, Adonis, Jacob, Steffi, Danielle, Crystal, Nike. You guys are the best. I'll catch you next time.